A zaraz trochę historii.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Comrades, your podcast all about the FX show The Americans. I am Jesse Jackson, and joining me today, as always, when we talk Americans, is my buddy Matt. How you doing, Matt?
I'm good. Are
Good.
we proud to be an American?
I am proud to be an American, where at least I know I can listen to Tainted Love while someone is getting killed behind me.
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts on this one?
It was a little bit slow moving,
Okay.
and it's kind of by the numbers, and it's probably just
Mm-hmm.
setting up things that will happen on later episodes.
Okay. We are discussing the second episode of the fourth season, Pastor Tim. And so let's just get it on there. Let's throw it out right away. Elizabeth's a little too quick to wanting to off Pastor Tim, I think.
Not in her mind. She's not. In her mind, it's just another threat to exposing them. And the only way to get rid of a threat in her mind is to kill them.
So, are you Team Philip or Team Elizabeth in this choice?
I'm my wife says I'm more Elizabeth than Philip because I'm tend to believe everything black and white. But I'm kind of hoping that I'm can side with Philip on this, but I don't know. It's hard to at this point because we really don't know anything about Pastor Tim other than he seems like a nice enough guy.
Yeah, what I found interesting is Philip not the moral of, oh, we shouldn't kill this perfectly innocent person. It's this isn't going to help us because later Paige is going to resent us that we killed the only person she trusted and felt like believed in her. So he had no moral, like, if we could get away with it and it wouldn't bother us up down the road, sure, let's kill Pastor Tim. Uh, but I love Elizabeth's kind of just, we'll worry about that baggage later. Right now, let's just get rid of the problem.
And I have to agree that it's always been about family, and I think this whole season seems to be focused on family more than it has in the previous seasons.
Yes. So, what is the vial of bad, the chemical warfare? What is that? A sardine can? Is that some kind of chewing gum? Do you know what kind of tin that is?
No, I didn't really.
Okay.
Wasn't paying too much attention to the tin it was in.
Well, I was looking because I wanted to use that as my rating,
Oh,
but but I don't know if you were a fan of the 1960s Batman TV show.
yeah, I'm a fan of it.
Okay. So there is that wonderfully wacky scene. I think it's in the movie, but it is where Adam West, dressed as Batman, has a bomb, and he's trying to throw it off. And
Yeah, and
everywhere
he's
he
running around.
goes, there's something can't, nuns or children. He's like, some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. I feel
Yeah.
like Philip's like, some days you just can't get rid of a biological weapon.
Yeah, and I love the earlier scene with Gabriel. Like, why don't you take it to the drop? Why don't you?
Yes, I thought that was great, and um, and it's like it's in our house. Well, that's the reason why they keep this, and
Yeah,
and he's like, why can't I just drop it off? And then they have a little discussion about what if a dog or a child finds it? Well, that's not going to
yeah,
happen. Okay, what if this is one of the few times?
yeah. And I didn't really care for that scene. I thought that was superfluous
Okay.
to the rest of the story. It was just like, yeah, I know it's bad.
Hmm.
Okay, don't. Why are you telling me it's bad? That scene just didn't serve any purpose to me.
Absolutely. I will say I was very pleased that Philip told Elizabeth why um, he and Stan had a fight, or he
Yeah,
he and his boyfriend, as she called it.
yeah.
Um,
It was a confession episode.
yeah, one of a thing that bothers me in TV shows is when you have this whole I can't tell the person what's going on subplot, because at
Yeah,
times I think it's an excuse for lazy writing. And so I'm glad he just told her the truth. He told her that it helped him, it processed. And she's asking the
yeah.
question, well, would you want me to go sometimes? I mean, she seemed very engaged. I did want to ask the question at the end when he says, these are the kind of things I talk about at the EST or ACT or whatever. I can never remember the name of the, you know, New
Scientology.
Age, yeah, the Scientology stuff. And she, she at least has enough sense, because I would go like, you told her about killing the kid with a rock? No, no, I leave that part out. So yeah. Um,
Yeah, I was pretty glad about that too, because I agree it does tend to lead to like you said, lazy writing. And just I love his answer at the end when she asked, "Well, do you want me to go?" And he's kind of, uh, yeah, sure. This kind of answer that's you can interpret like he is almost saying, "I really don't want you to go, but you can come, I guess."
yeah, it almost is a, this is my thing, and
Yeah,
you should go get your own thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Do you think Elizabeth was happy that Paige came clean with her?
I think so. On a deeper level, I think she did, because it saves a lot of headache on the back end if they do go through with killing Pastor Tim, which seems like they are. I don't know. I don't know about the whole going to the cottage thing. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think she was a little bit happy about it. But that was some intense staring, though.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I thought that was an interesting, the theory of how they're going to try to get this, and they'll try to make it look accidental. Um, eh, so it's kind of really interesting that, um, what are you going to do now that you know that this is happening, and how do you protect your family, but how do you not totally destroy? Because they're, we're not bad people. We're just fighting for Mother Russia, you know?
Yep.
Um, Now, let's talk about the bus scene. I thought it was a little stretch of TV logic. Um,
Yeah, it was a
because, that's awful wide open to commit a murder.
yeah, and it was the whole time I was watching it. The minute the pilot started to get antsy, I was like, well, something's gonna go wrong.
Yeah.
You just knew something was gonna go wrong, and then finally the security guard show up, and I was like, well, he's dead.
Yeah.
And of course, I knew, and I thought that, and of course, it came true. I don't want to say it was cliche, but it was almost, you could almost see it happening as the scene progressed,
Yes.
and there was nothing to deviate you off that path. But you just knew that that pilot wasn't going to walk away with that
Hmm.
vial. That somehow it was still Philip was going to still
Yeah.
own it. I
Hmm.
just had that feeling watching the scene, but
I
that's what
agree.
happened.
Yeah. Um.
But the killing scene was kind of nice because he used a
Yeah.
creepy way for tainted love.
Yes, it was. It was a very um interesting use of the music. I love that we got the embassy guy finding out that his brother had died, and we also found out that Elizabeth's mother had died. So two of our cast found out that relatives had passed away.
Yep.
And
More
go ahead.
more family issues.
Yeah, and Matt, I think one of the points I enjoyed is when their handler is telling her, "Your mother died. She spoke fondly of you and Paige." And for the first time, I think in a long time, Elizabeth wasn't buying the company line. She, said, "Did she?"
Yeah.
It was kind of wow. She's always the rah rah Mother Russia knows best. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, and she also knows that Gabriel's always played them a little bit. I think he still was in a way, but we shall see.
So let's talk a little bit about our favorite character, Nina.
Yes,
Um,
more heartbreaking scenes for Nina.
yes. She asked
Can't Nina
this.
get a break?
Yeah, she had asked at the end of last episode to meet her husband,
Yep.
and then we find out that her husband comes visits. They have a nice little talk. She talks about she's too old to have anyone marry her, and he raises his hand. I would. I did.
Yes.
you know.
Just-
And
I
then,
know.
yeah, I thought that was really well done. And then I also liked um, that she slips a note. And I
Well,
guess, go
there's
ahead.
another part to that scene
Yeah, go ahead.
where he talks about his current wife and his. I guess he has children too, and how she could have had that life too if she just wanted it, and it became obvious that she doesn't want that. She craves excitement and danger, I think.
I think she
and she
does. Yeah, I
and she
agree
would
with
have had
you.
a nice, beautiful, simple life.
Yeah, and he said, she's happy that he talks about his current wife, right? That
Yeah.
she's happy we're eating together, we're happy we're here. Do so I'm a little confused, so I'm hoping you can straighten it up. Was he known as a smuggler Was that when they
Mm,
talked about that right at the end when they said, someone who's known
no,
to do that, or it was someone else?
it was somebody else.
Okay, all right. Why do you think she cares so much about her fellow gulag member or inmate to want to get that note to his son?
I don't know. I think she has a problem with hard luck cases. That somehow she invests her own well-being ahead of helping others, like she did with Stan. That's the reason that she's in the spot now, is because she tried to help Stan. And
Um, do you do you think she's given up and she just thinks she's going to spend the rest of her life in that prison?
no, and
Okay.
I think that's the danger part, that she still thinks that she can get away with it.
Okay.
And I don't think she in her mind thought that, well, I mean, technically she wasn't really doing anything really wrong other
Yeah.
than just telling,
Mhm.
I can't remember the hacker guy's name, but just telling the world that he's still alive. But,
Yeah.
slipping notes out of a top secret base is
Mhm.
probably a bad thing.
Mhm.
So I
Um.
don't know if Nina's going to get out of this.
Yeah, I don't know either. Um. Why do you find the um
And we found out that they're pretty much given up on ever trading her.
right?
So I think she's stuck there.
Yeah, and there was this kind of when um Stan says to him, "I'm sorry about your brother," and he just cuts him off. Right? What, are we friends
Yeah.
now? I
It
thought that
sounded
was
like, was I wrong, or did Stan's boss give him intel to like use to get Nina out, and Stan refused to use it?
I think so. Yeah, I think I was glad to see Richard Thomas, and they're Frank and Stan are not good yet.
Yeah.
Um, we didn't get a Martha scene, but
No.
we did get a Henry Stan scene.
Yes.
What?
Poor Paige.
Yeah,
She doesn't get any macaroni and cheese.
right. And the key is to get it out early, I guess. Um, I I find it a little weird that Henry's over there, and I don't know why it bothers me a little bit, but it
They've
does.
Yeah, they've been building this up since last season. Like Stan's missing son. Guess he lives with his mom. And Henry's Phillips, you know, missing half the time anyway. So you got to latch on to a male figure somewhere, and it kind of makes sense that he latched on with Stan. And I know where Henry's coming from, because I've grown up with the same, like my parents were divorced at an early age, and I've latched on to older male figures where we have similar interests in mind. So I know where Henry's coming from, and I know why he's over there, and I can see why Stan would kind of invite him in, because right now he doesn't really have anybody else.
So the big question is, Matt, did you have a crush on a high school teacher?
No, I didn't never had a crush on a high school teacher. Sorry to say.
I did. I had Darlene Lister was a typing and business teacher. The rumor was she was a former stewardess. She was very young very beautiful, and was great. We all liked being in her class. She was very sweet, and we all had a little bit of crush on her. So, but I never thought it would work. It was just something beautiful to admire. But unlike, Henry going, hey, maybe I got a chance. I've got
Yeah.
my cologne.
No.
And we now know what kind of cologne he's got.
Yes. Which I just found the whole scene funny because like Stan goes, "Are you wearing cologne?" And I just imagine he probably just reeks, I bet.
Oh, yeah. Because that's what you do when you're a young guy. I want to really go, Philip, you got to help him out here. You got to, be the dad. Um, so you mentioned you didn't particularly like the Williams scene, though Dylan Baker is always fun to watch. Um, there did not seem as many. Um, there was more. It seemed like open meetings this time. In the park,
Yeah.
where they're sitting, and then with, William and Philip just walking. Um, did did you agree, or do you think it's a little
Yeah,
much?
I totally agree. It was kind of it's almost like they didn't know what to do with the episode.
Right.
Like we have to produce 13 episodes, but we don't know how to get from point A to point B. How do we do that? It just became kind of by the numbers, so it was just kind of inched the plot along a little bit. And my favorite scenes out of the whole thing was Boris and Nina conversation in the prison, and probably Paige and Elizabeth's scene.
Yeah.
I gotta give it to the actress that plays Paige because she's got a pretty heavy burden to carry for the season, and it's amazing that she's
Yes.
able to pull that off.
Mhm. Um.
I just feel for Paige because she's not doing anything wrong.
Right.
So what else can we ask for a kid that's super honest?
Mhm. Yeah, and I don't lie, and then you lie to me. You should put this family first. The I thought Philip looked so tired after he came back from the airport. Um, and just
Yeah, because
um,
he's still got the stupid vial,
yeah, and also I
wouldn't you?
think, yeah, he's tired, and he's also um, I don't think, like how to go not well. I do not think he wanted to kill that person. He just
No,
felt
he
like it.
didn't.
It seemed like it bothered him more than normal.
I think anytime he has to kill anybody, it
Okay.
always bothers him.
Okay. Good. Um, and then I think my favorite line of the episode is when Elizabeth says, Paige told me, what did you say? I said, wait till your father gets home.
Yeah, until your father gets up. Okay.
I just thought that was hilarious. It was true, but um, it just, I think, was just everything. It just funny and kind of, that seems like a real joke someone would make, and
Yeah,
that was my favorite line of the episode.
exactly.
Um, what else do we need to cover?
Uh, covered Nina's. I guess Boris turned Nina in.
Yes.
I didn't. That part was kind of confusing. Did they find it or did he turn it in?
I am not sure. I agree with you. I'm not sure which it is. And she seemed kind of resigned, like I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. And I feel for Nina. I've always felt for Nina, and she's an amazing actress. So hopefully she'll get out of it.
Yeah,
It'd be nice if she was back in America.
Yes, I like it too. And, this is a couple of times now Stan has not helped her when he could,
Yeah.
right? He
Yeah.
just, um, I think he feels guilty, but not guilty enough to do it. And I think once again,
Or Stan's looking at the bigger game and he knows something else is up. So he's not playing all his cards out right now.
Okay.
Which I think is the real issue.
Yeah, I hope so. I know that sometimes they try to make Stan not the good guy on purpose.
Yeah.
And I hope that he's trying to do a longer game and seeing what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least that's what I think, but I could be wrong.
So I think good episode. You got a rating for me?
Yeah, it's a decent episode. It was kind of, laying groundwork for the future episodes. And as we've seen, a lot of family dynamics this season, which I think it's probably going to be one of the better seasons, I think. But overall, not that exciting. So I'm just going to give it 6 intense Elizabeth stares.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. I liked it a little more than you, which is not surprising, since I like everything. I'm gonna give it 7 cassette Walkmans. And
Dead batters or
yeah, exactly. Uh-huh. So we want to know what you guys think. Talk to us at 80s Reboot on Twitter. I am at Jesse Jackson DFW. Matt, where can they find you on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter at Matt McLean73. And you can find 80s Reboot on various social media networks, including Facebook and Instagram and I don't know what else. Tumblr.
Absolutely. We have a whole 80s channel going now. We just released a crossover episode that I'm really proud of. I had Scott and Bob join me, and we discussed Bruce Springsteen's top songs of the 80s, voted on by the readers of Rolling Stone, and we said what they got right and what they didn't, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Well, what did I say last time? I forgot. I forgot how I closed it out.
We are two professional broadcasters.
Remember, was our tape machines off?
I think so, maybe so. I think that sounds
That's
great.
all screwed up.
Yes. Anyway, why don't we just end with thank you guys for listening. Please give us feedback on what you want us to talk about and share what you're thinking of the season. And we will talk to you soon.
We hope you've enjoyed this show. This podcast is part of the 80s Reboot Overdrive channel on Southgate Media Group. You can follow us on Facebook on the 80s Reboot group page. We're also on Twitter and Tumblr at 80s Reboot. We invite you to check out all the wonderful podcasts and blogs available at southgatemediagroup.com. And thank you for reliving the 80s.